Hello and welcome to another DC Corner. This is Ed Garrett for the TMStash.com, welcoming you in. This has been a big week in the DC Multiverse. Just in time for my own birthday, so I feel like it's sort of a special present to me, because if you've been wondering if there was a room for a pre-New 52 universe in the DC Multiverse, the answer is yes. But that's not even half the answer. The real answer is every continuity that has ever existed in DC may well exist now in the DC Multiverse on some as yet unnamed world. One of the keys to that, if you haven't picked up Superman Doomed #2, I know you can't zoom on this very well, but this is the last page of Superman Doomed #2. And it's got sort of the key to the multiverse on it. I'll tell you a little bit about what's here. You've got a not blue OMAC. You've got the new Teen Titans with Dick Grayson wearing that huge disco collar he used to wear when the new Teen Titans first appeared in the universe. You've got the pre-New 52 Legion. You've got the Golden Age Justice Society with Jay Garrett still wearing that pot helmet from that looks like Mercury's helmet, and Alice Scott wearing the purple cape. You've got the Flashpoint universe, Aquaman and Wonder Woman battling it out. You even have Superman wearing red shorts, and that's not all. So there's certainly some possibilities here for a wide variety of pre-New 52 and even pre-Crisis continuities existing in the multiverse once we're all done with Superman Doomed, Futures End, and everything else leading into this coming April's unnamed big event. There's some more in here. In Futures End Booster Gold, we go back to that scene a long time ago when Booster Gold met another Booster Gold and they both faded away. Turns out that the kiss between Superman and Wonder Woman was not necessarily what triggered everything, but that issue looks to lead into next April. There's an issue over access of some big bad to Farpoint. That existed in the pre-New 52 universe and apparently still exists in the multiverse somewhere, the key location where you can go anywhere in the multiverse. They also established the Charlton pre-crisis world with a Captain Atom wearing that old blue uniform, not the shiny metal version. You get to see the pre-New 52 booster and a whole lot more. So there's a lot of really neat things happening in the DC multiverse here that is making Futures End have a lot more meaning, is making Superman Doomed have a lot more meaning, and we certainly are building up to something bigger here. Let's talk a little bit more about last week's books. Flash Futures End probably was the best tie-in in terms of tying in regular continuity. Apparently Robert Venditti and Van Jensen were told when they came on The Flash that they would be aiming for a Futures End issue, and they decided to aim all of their regular continuity toward this issue. This is a payoff. This is where the future Barry meets our version of Barry in a huge battle. Wally does get his powers, but the way he gets tied into the Speed Force and what happens to some of the other characters is the real story here leading into the next issue of Flash, and I can't wait to see it. In Superman Futures End, Shazam has been outed as the masked Superman, and this is the start of the aftermath of that. That's going to continue in next week's Futures End as to does he continue as the masked Superman? What does he do? Catwoman Futures End. We know that in Batman Eternal, she becomes the kingpin of crime in Gotham City. In this issue, 5 years from now, does she continue? Does she retire? Does she die? Or is there some combination of those factors she can come up with? It is a good issue. Futures End itself, La Resistance lives on with Green Arrow and Red Arrow and a bunch of heroes from Earth 2 showing up alive that we thought had died much earlier. I think one of the keys of Futures End is that you can't believe any of the deaths even within the series. But they were captured by a combination of Brother Eye and Cadmus. Pardon me. And so we'll see what happens next in that one. Over in Batman Eternal, the band is coming back together. What was split apart by the death of the family storyline is being pulled back together because of Alfred. Alfred was attacked by Hush. Pardon me. Alfred was attacked by Hush and given fear toxin. Now he is the cause of everyone trying to come back together to assist Batman in this huge battle against Hush in Batman Eternal. And again, if you're missing out on Batman Eternal, you are missing out on one of the best series that DC's put out in quite some time. Let's move to next week. The tie-ins for Futures End are done. The Futures End storyline keeps delivering, with the Masked Superman's being revealed to the world and more of the aftermath of that. In some of the other issues, though, Action Comics 35 has the aftermath of the Doom storyline, and considering that last page of Doom #2, I can't wait to see what they do. Batman Eternal 26 has martial law being taking effect in Gotham. Batman Superman 14 continues the Forgotten Heroes storyline, with a memory-wiped Superman teaming up with Catwoman to take on a memory-wiped Batman teaming with Lois Lane. Detective 35 has the first of a two-parter by some guest creators, Ben Percy and John Paul Leon. It starts with a real interesting riddle about a plane full of dead passengers that arrive at Gotham Airport. Flash Season 0 goes into print. They've already been in digital copies. This follows the continuity of the upcoming TV series, and what I've seen on the digital version of it looks good so far. Gotham Academy #1 being described as a, quote, teen drama set in the shadow of Batman and the craziness of Gotham City, end quote. We'll see how that turns out. I'm going to give it at least a shot. Grayson #3. Dick Grayson has been given a gun. That's been one of my complaints of the series. This issue, we find out if he's going to pull the trigger or not. A lot of how I view that series is going to depend on what happens here. In Green Arrow, the creators of the TV series Arrow are taking on writing duties on the comic series. So that starts this Wednesday. Green Lantern 35 continues the Godhead storyline, where the new gods are going up against all the ring bearers. In Justice League 34, speaking of ring bearers, Power Ring, or the new Power Ring, is joining the Justice League itself. JL 3000 #10 comes out, and speaking of multiverse things, we have learned now that they are not from this main DC Earth continuity's future, but rather from a pre-New 52 Earth's future. Swamp Thing 35 has the start of the Machine Queen storyline. Wonder Woman 34 has the Battle of the Firstborn, and Lobo #1 hits the shelves this Wednesday. So another big week for DC. They certainly had a huge month in September. Let's see what October brings us, and be sure to catch us a little bit later tonight. We'll have the regular Comics Week in review. We'll talk a little bit more about Gotham then, some more DC news, a lot of Marvel news, and all of the indies we'll be covering then. And, of course, next week, we'll be back right here with another DC Corner. This is Ed Garrett. Thanks for watching, and we'll sign out.